Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing fantastic on this glorious day. Another day, right? To rise and shine and be able to get your passions and your purpose moving. On this episode, I always call it episodes, right? But nah, in this video, I really want to just discuss passions, right? And purpose. Like, to get a little vulnerable and discuss myself, I've been going through a lot of different changes, right? I've been experiencing a lot of, they have ebbs and flows. Mine have really been down, those ups and downs in life. So I've really been experiencing a lot of just, difficulties that I've experienced in the past, right? Not to date myself, but I've experienced in the past as a child, but as an adult, it's seeming to be continuous, right? I don't know if anybody else out there has experienced that, where, it's just a lot of just closed doors, right? Just closed doors, missed opportunities, a lot of failures. I know every failure is a lesson, so it's not really a failure until you give up. But, it really does start to dampen your spirits, right? So just an example, right, of what I experienced recently. So we're in April now, and in January, I had gotten really sick. My son was in the hospital. I had caught shingles. I had chickenpox as a kid. And my face was, wrecked. It was on my face at that, and then after that, my car broke down. After that, my finances were like depleted. I really had no money or anything in the bank. I was really just going through a lot of struggling periods, again, praying for my son and everything else and, myself. So I went through, so let's fast forward to April, finally my car has been repaired. But through those past months, nobody knew what was wrong with my car, right? They couldn't repair it. They didn't know what the problem is. Excuse me about the curse. I'm going to try to keep it PG, and my life, like I couldn't seem to get out of the mire or the muck of just the constant nonsense, right? I mean, I know 2024 was a karmatic year, and a lot of people have experienced a lot of karmatic things that they've done in the past, and maybe that was what was meant for me, right? Because I wasn't the greatest guy in the past. I'm gonna keep it 100% for you guys. You guys already know I always keep it authentic, even with my the videos that I've been putting out in the, prior to. I wasn't the greatest guy. I went to jail. I was locked up for a while. I had over 21 jobs. I wasn't the greatest partner. I was definitely a cheater. I was, entertaining a lot of other women, and when I was in relationships, I had to really learn myself, right, and start to love myself, because I find that when you do things like that, you really don't love yourself. But anyway, going back to what this what I'm trying to talk about is that I really had to rely on my prayer game, right, through it all. Like, I really didn't know what in the world was happening. It was just, everything was so chaotic, all over the place. Like, there was no pattern to things. I'm a Virgo, so I look for patterns in things. I don't believe in coincidences, because everything happens for a reason, but I look for patterns. So there's always a pattern in things. There was no pattern in anything. Everything was just so chaotic. Everything was just like up in the air. Even my prayer, even praying, I'm a prayerful person. If you guys are not a prayerful person, that's fine. Whether you say you believe or you don't believe, you still believe in something, because whether you do or you don't, you still have that thought of belief, I should say. So for myself, it was like all over the place, right? So, I really just kind of calmed down. I'm usually a calm person, but for some reason, like, my anxiety was getting the best of me. I really didn't know what the hell was going on, and I'm just like, even praying to God, I'm like, God, like, my Almighty, I'm like, yo, even you, like, this is so weird, because you answer my prayers. What I mean? My prayers are usually answered. Anytime I've prayed in the past, after a while, it's always been answered. It's been quiet. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but it's been quiet, like church mouses, for real. So it really just I really just had to continue it, right? So I just wanted to share this with anybody who's going through it. I had to continue to pray, right? Just continue. If you're going through it, like, just keep praying, because I'm still kind of going through it, right? I still am picking myself up. Everything, my business is starting to pick up little and gradually, and I appreciate you guys watching the videos. I appreciate you guys, whatever you're learning and you're applying and it's helping you. Thank you, because even that I didn't want to do, right? Because I'm from the old school. I'm not going to date myself, but I'm from I really being on camera and talking on camera. Like, I used to be a street guy, so we don't really like to be on camera too much. So but God was like, you need to come on camera. Like, you have a message, you have something that you have to say. I have a big heart. I'm a really empathetic and generous guy. And I love everybody, regardless of your color, religion, or whatever. I've studied multiple religions, right? Because I was looking for the core truth, right? Everybody like to separate religions. I mean, yes, religions are the institutions. I get that. I don't follow the institutions, but in every religion, from Buddhist to Muhammad to Christian to whatever it may be, right? There's a core truth, and that core truth is always love. It's always giving. It's always compassion. So yeah, I digress. But yeah, I really went through it, and now I'm at a point where, I'm going to get my car today, right? And even then, I didn't even have the funds for that. So even through my prayer, God was able to put people in my life to be able to help me out, right? It's my phone, guys. To be able to help me out and put me in a position where I can get my car back, right? I can get back on my feet. Again, it's not ideal. I'm a person that hates to ask other people. It's like the bane of my spirit to ask somebody else, because I've always done things myself. I've always figured it out. But I feel as though this time in my life, God removed all that. He removed me from figuring it out. You can't figure it out. You have to allow me to figure it out, right? Like, God literally sat me down and was like, no, you can't figure it out yourself. All your life, you've always tried to figure it out yourself, and you've relied on yourself. And God has made me realize that I need to rely on Him. I need to rely on the Holy Spirit. I need to rely on Spirit. I need to rely on the universe. I need to rely on Mother Gaia. I need to rely on, all of those things that are cohesive with my spirituality and my spiritual growth. From all the dreams and revelations that I've been having through the past days, I've always been a dreamer. I think that's one of my gifts. I dream a lot. I even remember all of my dreams. So, I didn't realize how much of a revelation they were, and they were a gift. I just thought, they were dreams at one point. But I just wanted to say to those who are really struggling, right? For you young guys, for you young women, who are really going through it, like, if you're walking through fire, like they say, keep walking, right? Just keep your head down. Keep pushing forward, right? The inspiration is going to hit you. And also, I like to say, when that inspiration hits you, take action, right? Whatever it may be, just take action on it. Because obviously, it's inspired action that's coming from the universe. Can maybe be coming from an ancestor, and it could be showing you something. It may not be the main thing that's just going to make you, that millionaire, or it's going to make you, that better person, but it could be that stepping stone that's going to be able to transition you, to propel you into the version of the person you want to be, right? Because I think that we're all here to become the best versions of ourselves, right? We can always change. They always say old dog don't want to know new tricks, or whatever the case may be. But, old dogs do like to have new directions, right? A leopard may not change its pattern, but it can change its direction, kind of situation, right? So you can always change. And he who is against change is the architect of decay, right? So you don't want to start to decay and be so set in your mindset mind frame of whatever you believe or whatever you feel, because it's still the you, right? And who's the you? That's the ego, right? So a lot of the time we have to be able to kind of remove those things, separate it, right? Separate yourself from your thoughts, because you are not your thoughts. I know if anybody read Dr. Joe Dispenza and those other books that are out there, or even follow there's a lot of different people on YouTube who discuss these things, right? So you kind of have to separate that, and you kind of have to put yourself in a position where you can grow. Anyway, so I don't want to make this long. I just wanted to say that and say that, stay firm in what you believe, right? It's going to be hard. It's not easy. Easy is not in the Bible. Easy is not in any biblical text that I've read. And I've read the Quran. I've read the Bible. I've read the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I don't see easy. I don't see one word of easy in any of those texts, right? So it's really important for us to easy with ourselves, right? Not to look for easy situations, but be easy on yourself. Again, we could be very hard on ourselves, very critical. I am very hard on myself. I feel like I should have been in a better position than I am now. But it's the poor decisions that I've made in the past that's brought me to where I'm at now, right? So that's another thing I want to point out to you guys, like to those younger, or even where you're at now, to those who may be around my age in the 40s, like where you're at now, and what you do now is going to determine where you're going to be in the forthcoming future, right? Where I was in the past, or what I've done in the past, has got me to where I'm at now. So that's kind of how it works. So whatever you're doing now, if it's not conducive to a productive lifestyle or the lifestyle that you want, don't think that 5 years down the line you're going to get there, right? You're not, because you're doing all the things you're not supposed to do. So do all the things you're supposed to do so that it's concurrent with, the future that you're trying to create. Right? We're all trying to create a better future for ourselves if that's what we want. Again, God gave us freedom of choice. Why? Because so that we're not robots, for one, but for two, that so that we can start to determine and decipher the things that we want. Do we want to follow, what's righteous, or do we want to follow what's wrong? We have the choice to do so. So it's all up to you. You can't blame nobody else for that. That's your choice. Life happening, situations happening. Yeah, you could blame the enemy. Yeah, you can blame, life. Life sucks and all of that. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to make that decision or choice for yourself to, not think that way, change your thought pattern, and, become a person that just looks at it, takes a step away from whatever the situation may be, go through it, whatever it may be, because there is a lesson there, but don't take it on, right? Don't take it on as physically, because that's what's cancer. That's what's got everybody in the hospital. That's what has people in their deathbeds, right? They're taking on stress physically, and it's physically killing us outside of the corporations and the foods and everything else that they're trying to kill us with. We're killing ourselves with that, right? So anyway, I just want to make this video to say that I was really going through it. I'm still going through it, but I'm in a better position now, and I've been praying a lot, and I just want to say that God is real, right? Prayer is real, and it's really powerful. Right? Whether you believe in God or not, you still believe in something. So, that belief is what's going to manifest itself, right? In whatever form it may be. So, to you atheists, don't think that, I don't believe in God. Yeah, you believe in something. If you don't believe, you still believe. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, I just want to say I'm thankful. I'm very grateful that I'm able to kind of start to see the light through this tunnel, the valley of shadows that I've been walking through. And everything is starting to kind of blossom on the other end, right? So I just want to encourage you guys out there, everything is going to work itself out. Stay strong. It's not going to be easy again, but, if you keep the faith and you keep the passion and your purpose in front of you, right, and have that plan of how you want to reach your purpose, it's going to happen. There's nothing that's going to stop you, right? All right, I don't want to be long-winded. I love you guys. Love is real. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. And I'm from Brooklyn. So, Anyway. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I got to get going. I got some work to do. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.